Steve, the best before date on these, well past it. You really should be more careful, you know.
Excuse me? That's not the best before date. That's the price.
They're too expensive. Carry on.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hi everybody and welcome to another edition of One Chef One Critic. I'm Karl Wells, food critic for The Telegram.
And I'm Chef Steve Watson of Central Dairies.
Well, Steve, there are other ways apparently of telling whether something is past its best before date. Eggs, for example.
Absolutely.
You have a bowl of eggs, and some are really fresh, and some are not so fresh.
Exactly.
How do you tell which is which?
Well, what I've got here, Karl, is a bowl of eggs. And eggs are porous, so they absorb air. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop this into a thing of water there. And you see how flat that lies? Okay, so that's an egg about 3 to 4 days old, so to speak. So, but on this chart here, it will tell you how our eggs go. So if you go from 1 to 3, 3 to 4 days, even if you go up to 19 to 21 days, your eggs will start to float to the top. And that's the time to start discarding them.
So if it floats way up to the top, it's probably not good to use.
Yes, exactly.
That's great. That's great information. Another little egg tip for you is, you know, eggs, because you mentioned they're porous, they'll absorb flavors.
Indeed, yes.
So you can make something, for example, called tea eggs, where you get a brew of black tea, spices, and soy sauce, and you soak the eggs in that mixture, and it will absorb all the flavor.
Perfect.
And when you eat the egg, you get the taste of the egg, plus the taste of all those wonderful flavors. It's a treat. Coming up on the program today is Dr. Chris Nicholas and his partner in life and in business, Becki Peckham. They own a company called Bold Creative, and they're about to do a television series. There's a whole lot of things going on in their lives. So what are we going to be cooking for them?
We're going to be making a beautiful roasted steelhead trout with artichokes and apples.
And Brenda Lee will be here. She's the chef at the Pantry, and she's going to be making a rhubarb slaw. So stay tuned. For a complete listing of One Chef One Critic recipes, wine lists, and more, check out our website. Let us know what you think of the show at 757-9600. And we have been joined at the cooker by Dr. Chris Nicholas and Becki Peckham, partners in life and in business. And it's okay if I call you doctor, is it?
You can call me Chris, it's fine.
Okay, I like calling you doctor.
Whatever you want to call me.
You know. Anyway, we're going to talk about these folks in detail, so you'll get to know them and what they do, because if I start listing what they actually do right now, we'll be here forever. So let's talk about what we're going to be cooking.
Well, Chris, Becki, what we're going to be preparing today is a beautiful steelhead trout, and we're going to be serving that with some artichokes and some apples as well. So shall we get started?
Sure, sounds
Okay,
great.
I've got a pan that's with some olive oil in there. It's getting nice and hot. We'll put our apples in first to get them started. Maybe, Karl, you can just give me some more warp speed there and heat the pan up a little bit more.
Okay.
That'd be great. And Becki, with Karl, we've got some butter there. We're going to be sauteing some green beans with some almonds in there. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. So let's get started. We've got that there. I'll give you
would you like to,
spoon. So we'll just...
I'm on apple duty.
some of
You're on
butter.
apple duty, exactly.
Do it the whole thing?
No, just...
Just a little bit.
A quarter or half. Let's start with a quarter.
Okay.
Just push it in.
I told you I'm not very good at cooking.
But you see, you have me here to guide
I'm
you.
allowed to do that.
So what I've done here, I'm just putting some of the artichoke hearts up. Away we go, and we've got some heat, and that should be fine.
Becki's got her hands full of butter, so if somebody off camera could hand us... Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yes. Sorry about
Sweet. That's okay.
You had one job, Becki.
Yeah.
One job.
So, Chris, I wanted to ask you how you manage to juggle all of these things you do. You're a radiologist. You do some modeling. You're a blogger. You're a handyman. And I'm sure I've left something. You're a photographer. You've got this business, Bold Creative, which you both do together. How do you manage to juggle all of that stuff?
Well, the business is mostly Becki. I don't do a whole lot. Sometimes she'll ask for my opinion on something, but for most part, that's just her.
Okay.
But I'll take credit for it if you're willing to give it.
Indeed,
I'm not actually a radiologist. I'm a radiology resident at this point, but I do write my board exams in actually a couple weeks.
Which
so.
we hope you do well with.
And I'm sure you will.
But yeah, I guess once that passes, then I guess I will be a bona fide radiologist. But I think the modeling thing was only almost a one-time gig. That was just with, I did a campaign with Aldo Shoes. And that was pretty cool because they basically reached out. I think they actually reached out through our blog initially because they emailed Becki saying, we're trying to get in touch with Chris.
Oh,
And she was like, just forwarded it along to me.
Yeah.
But, and they messaged they sent the email to the email address that was on our blog. So, but yeah, they kind of came out of the blue. They were just like, hey, we have you in mind for a project. Just want to chat it over with you, and next thing you know, I'm flying down to New York City.
You do have a very nice pair of shoes on.
Oh, thanks.
I guess you got those out of it.
Yes, so many shoes.
These aren't actually Aldo, but
So they found you here in Newfoundland and they flew you to New York City.
and they flew me to New York. Yep, it was quite an experience. It was a whirlwind. It was 2 or 3 days, and after that, I flew back to St. John's and went right to my car and drove to Corner Brook for a rural rotation. Rural in Corner Brook. So it was quite a juxtaposition of New York life and then going to Corner Brook to work for a month.
Yeah. So how are things coming along? I just turned this up for you.
Yeah.
It looks like you need a little bit
some
more
heat
fry
there,
speed
indeed.
there,
Karl,
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about Bold Creative. You do design and photography, and how did that all come about? And did you always have this creative bent?
Yeah, like a little bit. Well, I wanted to own my own business ever since I was in high school. So after I went to college and I worked in the industry for a couple of years and got a bit of experience, I went off on my own. And so now I'm doing freelance, and working with other freelancers is really awesome. It's a lot of fun, yeah.
So do you ever work on projects together, both of you?
We haven't worked on a project in a long time. We used to work a lot together when he wasn't so busy with school. But besides the blog, I guess, most of the stuff with Bold is just me.
And the blog, we should explain about the blog. You guys bought a house and you renovated the house.
Yeah.
You bought it in 2011, I think.
Yeah.
And so the blog, which is called The Uncommon Law, right?
The Uncommon Common Law, yeah. It's kind of an awkward name, but...
Yeah.
Okay, The Uncommon Common Law. Anyway, that's about the whole renovation project, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I've always been kind of interested in like renovations and interior design and stuff like that. And even though I don't do that for a living, the blog was kind of like a bit of fun and just something to kind of, I guess, have that outlet. Yeah.
It kind of started off as a bit of, we didn't really take it too seriously at the beginning, but it sort of snowballed and then became a more serious project.
Now you're adding artichoke.
Artichoke hearts into there.
No, because our butter's all melted there. It's going to
Add
caramelize
some.
everything.
How much? Just that little bit?
Just sprinkle some on the top there. There we go.
Thanks.
That's good.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, and I'll add some more butter because you know you can never have too much butter. There we
They
go.
actually teach the opposite of that in med school.
Yeah, well, we'll forget that.
But
you're
it's
a
all
doctor
natural,
for now.
that's the main thing.
I'm also going to put some chopped basil in there. Okay, and now I'll stir around in that.
So now you're a radiologist, but you could have chosen to become a surgeon or a psychiatrist or something. Why did you zero in on radiology?
Yeah, that's the process for a lot of medical students. There's a lot of pressure that people don't realize, but you sort of have to choose what you want to do with the rest of your life. People think, oh, you got into med school, and then it's just, you're finished, that's your decision, you've done that. You're doing medicine. But within medicine, there's a whole array of different possibilities which you can go into. Radiology, for me, it's a little bit of a more obscure one. A lot of people don't think that radiologists are even doctors. They just think that they're the ones kind of, oh, you take some x-rays or you take some CT scans, and that's that. But our job as a radiologist, we interpret the images. So our technologists will acquire the images and then we'll interpret them and synthesize the whole clinical picture and put it all together and say what we think is going on. But like, as getting back to your original question about, I could have gone into various things. I chose radiology just because it's, I think one person said to me, Chris, you're a dork, you need to check it out because there's a lot of technology involved. I was like, all right.
Okay.
And I did, and I was like, you're totally right.
Yeah.
So having a background in photography and a bit of a background in video as well, I found it was a really just natural extension of that knowledge.
Yeah.
And you can apply a lot of concepts from digital imaging to medicine through radiology.
Yeah,
so I felt
that
it was a
makes
natural
sense.
fit,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever have an opportunity? I know you look at the X-rays and you basically diagnose what the conditions are looking at the X-rays. But do you ever have an opportunity to actually come in contact with patients or interact with patients?
I do actually, and that's another common misconception that radiologists don't see patients.
Right. Yeah.
So, for example, if I'm doing ultrasound that day, there'll be at least 2 or 3 procedures where I'll go in, minimally invasive procedures. So someone needs a drain put in, or someone needs something biopsied. That's usually all done on our ultrasound.
Okay.
Additionally, I'll be going away to do some subspecialty training in Vancouver in a subspecialty of radiology called interventional radiology.
Ah, okay.
So that's an even sort of more drilled down, specialized area.
So if somebody's having an injection, say, and it has to go to a specific site, there's an X-ray involved, and that helps the doctor guide the needle in or something?
Yeah, so injections are done specifically by the musculoskeletal radiologists, so the ones that do bones and joints and muscles.
So that's a subspecialty of...
Yes, exactly. There's subspecialties within subspecialties. It's very convoluted.
Anyway, listen, this is all under control. You did a great job with those.
I did really do.
I'm going to duck out and get some wine, and I'll be back.
Okay, guys, what I've got here, we've got all our vegetables in the bottom, our artichokes and our apples. I've put the trout on the top. We'll lightly season that, and we're going to broil that in the oven for about 5 minutes.
So I should stop stirring then.
Stop stirring now. We're all ready to go. Rock and roll, and our beans are done. Perfect. Our roasted trout has nicely come out of the oven there. We'll pop that on top of our apples and our artichokes. We'll do a little drizzle of our balsamic vinegar, and then we'll go and visit Becki, Karl and Chris in the dining room. Bon appetit.
I think that's enough to get you started. Oh, well, this looks beautiful, as usual. I notice you've got a nice sprig of fresh basil
Absolutely,
on the top,
Karl.
just to set it off.
Yeah.
And some balsamic glaze.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's have a taste, folks, and see what you think of this trout.
It's really good.
Yeah. It'll pass. Good. We did a great job.
I think you did. I think we all did.
Nice job on the beans, Becki.
Yes, nice job on the beans. I wanted to get back to talking about your blog. You basically took photographs during this renovation that you went through, and you wrote about it. Did you get much reaction to the blog?
At first, we didn't get like a whole lot, but we actually entered a contest in 2014 and we won. It was an international contest, I believe, for DIY projects. So we got a lot of traffic after that, and things kind of just went up from there.
Yeah. From what kind of places? All over North America, or?
Yeah, it seemed like mostly North America. I don't know if...
The competition was worldwide.
Yeah.
But most of the entrants were from North America, I think.
2 Canadians. We were one of 2.
Now, I know you both do a lot of social media. Do you have many followers or not?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
If you compare to somebody who has, a certain number of little.
But do you ever get like people from far off countries contacting you or connecting with you?
Yeah, we get emails sometimes, brands that want to collaborate and things. They just basically want to use it as an advertising opportunity. And sometimes people just message us out of the blue and say, we love what you're doing.
Now, on a renovation project, with the two of you working so closely on it, I mean, as a couple, I imagine there must have been times when there was a little bit of tension, or how did...
You had to bring that up.
Did that work, or,
We actually work pretty well together. We have like the same vision. Well, Chris likes to work late at night and I don't, but we have like the same style and the same type of vision. So in terms of picking furniture and picking stuff like that, it works really well.
Now, I know you've done the renovation thing, and in fact, did I read somewhere that you had signed an agreement to do a pilot for a renovation show? Or?
Yeah, that's potentially underway, but we have a non-disclosure agreement with that. So.
Oh, pardon me. Oh, wow. By the way, that piece of paper that you didn't read when you signed,
Also
when
a
you came in.
non-disclosure agreement.
Anyway, listen, all the best to both of you. It's been great having you on the show.
Thank you for
Thanks for having us.
Becki and Chris.
Cheers.
And we'll be back right after this with our next guest, who is a chef, Brenda Lee, and she's going to make a fantastic rhubarb slaw. We have a growing number of social enterprise restaurants in the city of St. John's. One of the first was the Pantry at the Elaine Dobbin Centre for Autism. Over the years, of course, it's become a favorite of many, many people, especially at lunchtime. Famous for its salads, soups, sandwiches, delicious pastries, and even for some of its catering. For example, they cater events like corporate lunches, all the way up to wedding events. I was at a wedding event at the Pantry one time. Anyway, the executive chef these days at that wonderful little restaurant is Brenda Lee, and we're very pleased to welcome Ms. Brenda Lee.
Thank you.
How are you?
Well, this is great, Brenda. I've heard a lot about the Pantry, actually, and looking forward to seeing what you're going to prepare for us today.
Yes. So today we're going to do a roasted rhubarb slaw. So we're going to start our dressing. I've already prepared, but we have used a rhubarb puree where we roasted it in the oven beforehand with a little bit of honey on it. And then a little bit of grainy Dijon, honey, and canola oil, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar.
Perfect.
So that's all been put together right there. And then we're gonna get together some cabbages. We have purple and white cabbage, so we'll toss that in the bowl.
Perfect.
So this could be a nice little salad for before a dinner party, or for before dinner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we have a mixture of carrots and celery, some different colors in there to spice up the plate.
Now, in season, are these some of the things that you will grow in the garden there?
Absolutely. We grow lots of carrots, lots of different lettuces. We're going to be putting a bit of arugula down. The rhubarb, we grow tons of rhubarb in the summer and the spring. And so, yeah.
Do you tell people not to eat the leaves? Leaves are very bad for you.
Yes, they also keep away the slugs from the garden.
Oh, do
so that's
they?
why we plant a lot of them.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the stalk of the rhubarb that's edible,
Yes.
not the leaves.
Right.
Okay, so what do we do now? We toss this
So
up,
now
do we?
we're just going to toss it around. I'm just going to use my hands.
Okay,
That's
no
right.
problem.
Yes.
We
Get
use
in
our
there.
hands all the time. It's one of the most important kitchen tools,
Yeah.
as long as they're clean. And
Yes.
I saw
That's it.
you wash your
You
hands
did.
before.
And while we're tossing this, we're going to get our pan nice and hot. We're going to fry some feta to place on top of our salad. The saltiness of the feta is really going to make the sweetness of the rhubarb dressing come out.
Okay, perfect. So do you want to dress the plate first, or do you want to do the feta first?
We'll get the oil in the pan and
Okay.
we'll get that heated up.
Okay.
Just enough to cover the base of the pan.
Okay, and I'll turn that up then.
And we'll
Yeah.
turn that up. So now let's add our dressing.
Very good. I like the nice thickness of that dressing there.
I'm not going to
Liquid.
stick my hands in there again.
Yeah.
Not with the dressing.
You know, it's funny, a rhubarb is a vegetable, but it's one of those vegetables that you kind of use as a fruit as
Exactly,
well.
yeah. More so in desserts, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
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 Well, I mean, what could be better than strawberry rhubarb pie? That's got to be one of the most famous baked pies ever.
It's delicious.
Okay.
So we just got a little bit of bed of greens there. Now we're going to
Put some
some
more.
slaw right there.
I must say, the aromatic smells there is beautiful.
Go.
Okay, and I'll just remove that from
Yes.
there, and then we can...
I notice you haven't used your machete.
Yeah.
That's if you got out of hand. That's if you got out of
I
hand.
figured it must be for that because you haven't used it for anything else.
I did that. I didn't want to scare y'all, so I
Okay.
put it all up ahead of
All
time.
Okay, so let's go ahead.
All right.
I think we've got some nice heat there
Yes. So just a little light coating
of the flour.
of the flour.
Careful of the blowback now. You don't
Yeah.
want to.
stick
Yeah,
that.
there you go. Okay. I know we're matching in apron and shirt, but
Okay, no, it's just the right temperature. Look,
Yeah.
it's starting to bubble away there.
And we just really want to get a nice brown coating on each side of the feta. So I'm just going to drop this last one and see how we're doing.
So with using feta, I suppose you could call this a kind of a Greek salad.
Yeah, a take on it, something like that.
And then a spatula.
Perfect. Just gonna give that a little. I can see it's starting to brown already on the edges, so a couple more seconds and we'll give it a flip.
What's one of the most popular items in the restaurant these days?
Oh, the soup and sandwich combo just flies out the door. Flies out the door. And our sandwiches change every day. It's something new, so everybody wants to try them all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
I'm going to turn that off then.
We got one.
Do you know that this is something I've never done before?
Oh, really?
I never even thought to do, was to see some of our feta.
Well, I asked Brenda to do this so she could teach you.
Oh, well, absolutely, absolutely. You know, there's nothing
Kindly
wrong with that.
obliged.
We all learn something every day.
Yes, feta frying is not something that's part of your portfolio. I noticed that. It was sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's have a taste. You're done, right?
I'm all done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take a little bit of slaw as well, and I'll come back for the...
That is really good.
I like the rhubarb coming through.
That dressing, yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Brenda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the best of luck to you and the pantry.
Thanks.
And that's it for this edition of
One Chef.
One Critic. Oh, I thought Becki was going to help me.
Oh, Becky's definitely going to help you.
Okay, now you've got Chris, I've got Becki.
Yeah, there you go. Ooh, my goodness. That's not good.
Just gonna use you as a shield.
Oh dear. That's a first. Are you okay?
Oh, it's a fine mess you've got.